Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Johanna. I'm here with Lindsey Turner. I am the co-organizer, co-founder, multiple iteration of the Albuquerque Astrology Group, formerly the Leap Group, formerly the Laugh Group. So we've been multiple different things. And we are super excited to host Lindsey Turner. Lindsey is going to be the guest astrologer coming this Saturday to Resonant Essentials. And the presentation that they're going to be doing is on planetary scheduling. So I wanted to just do this little fun, casual talk to introduce Lindsey and have them talk about themselves a little bit and their approach to astrology, and of course the talk, and just sort of have people meet you virtually before you get here, before you make the trek to Albuquerque from up north where you live. So welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so good to sit and chat with you, and looking forward to meeting whoever I get to meet on Saturday. It's exciting to be sort of moving out of the digital space and into the in-person space with, some caution and care after the last few years of being all bundled up here on the internet.
I know, I know. And, running a local astrology group is like, the in-person part of it is so unique to it. I mean, there's so many astrology groups, there's so many awesome things you can do online with astrology now that the local aspect of it is kind of special, and we get to actually meet in person. So it's been sad that we haven't had that opportunity in the past few years. So finally getting back into person and having guest astrologers come and talk to our group, which is really exciting. And I'm really excited that you were our first guest astrologer for 2023. And and I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your background in astrology and how you came into it and your approach and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be kicking off everything for y'all. It's so nice. My background in astrology, I actually, it's so funny. I think sometimes, you don't realize like how many years you've been doing something until you like really start to think about it. And when I was a little kid, I would read the newspapers and find out when there were going to be like asteroid showers or meteor showers, and set alarms and like get up in the middle of the night, in like the dead of winter, go outside. And I think that maybe I just assumed that was something that normal children did, but I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I would just stay up like really late at night, like just looking out the window and wondering about, what was going on out there, and took a really special interest in constellations and, all that at a young age, and didn't even know what astrology was. But I think, that I had somewhat of a lonely childhood, which I think explains some of that. But always felt really grounded and connected and seen when I looked out into the night sky. And I think I have so much more language for that now. Like my astrological approach is really that the planets are witnesses. They witness each other. They witness us. We're all sort of in this witnessing collaboration of one another. And my career has kind of twisted and turned for many years now. I worked for the government for a while, and then I actually went to seminary, and ended up sort of falling backwards into church ministry for a while, which was really interesting, and in a progressive church setting, and working mostly with like teens, and also doing adult programming and things like that. And always found myself going back to like the rhythms of nature, the rhythms of the liturgical calendar, and really feeling like there was something bigger that I wasn't really like, I didn't have the language for, that I was searching for. And when I was getting ordained, I was like writing my paper all about the cosmos and the stars, and how my connection to the divine really came from that. And then about 5 years ago, I left the church and started really studying astrology in earnest. I'd always had sort of a passing interest, like in my adult life, and then realized that there was like more to astrology than your sun sign. And
Mhm.
that just sort of like blew open the doors. And so I've been really studying since about 2018 in earnest, and practicing as a consulting astrologer for the last couple of years now. And a lot of the work that I do also engages the training that I have in spiritual care, and kind of working with people to find really practical applications of astrology that really help them like ground and root into their everyday lives and feel like more connected, and like that they're living more meaningful experiences.
Totally. I love that that approach. And I was thinking about, I've been a practicing astrologer since 2017, so we're kind of like in the same like
Oh,
place
nice.
with our practice. And I've noticed with clients coming to me, living in New Mexico, it's a very Catholic state, and people have been raised in the church or the Catholic Church, and they, get to some point where they either leave it or have some, I don't know, reckoning where they have to confront something about religion, and then they are coming to me talking about astrology and wanting to know more about it. So it's really interesting, and I think the approach and the experience that you have with a background in a religion, can really help people. I think there's a lot of healing that needs to be done, a lot of like
Totally.
that bridging between astrology and spirituality and the divine, and the connection between the sky and what is out there and what's bigger than us, and what's what our connection is to that. So it's a very interesting common thing that keeps coming up. So I'm really excited that you get to come talk to our group, because I know a lot of our members are interested in this topic, and your experience is going to be really amazing, even though, I mean, the topic that you're going to be speaking on is not related to that. But I think it's going to be really exciting, because people are going to really relate to that. And maybe in the future you can come back and talk more about your specific studies and how that your approach to astrology works. But
Yeah.
please let me let you talk about the actual topic that we're going to be doing this Saturday. So I know that you talked about having a practical application of astrology, which I totally am down for too. I love that we can use astrology in our everyday lives. So that's why we sort of chose this topic, I think. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to just talk about it a little bit and let us know what you're going to be doing.
Sure. Sure. So planetary scheduling is like a little term that I came up with, but it's basically just, organizing whatever is sort of optional to organize in your life based on the planetary energy of the day, which I just kind of go off the ruler of each day of the week.
Mhm.
So each of the 7 days of the week is ruled by one of the visible planets or luminaries. And so, at its sort of most basic level, I think it can help bring a lot of balance into our weeks if we kind of keep in mind, like, okay, Monday is a lunar day, it's moon day, right? Like, here are the sorts of activities or themes that are associated with the moon, and how can we live into those more deeply on Mondays, right? So, even if it's things like scheduling calls with certain people or doing certain types of activities, right? We may find that certain days of the week work better for us than others. And then the second level that I'll kind of get into is the natal chart, and how to think about, like, the really basic like days of the week, but then also where do the planets show up in the natal chart, right? Are they above the horizon or below the horizon? Are they in the daylight or in the nighttime part of the chart? And how might we think about like our day-to-day lives, our weekly schedules, and sort of utilizing those planetary energies um, to make things just like a little bit easier
Right.
for ourselves, feel a little bit more balanced. I have Libra rising, so I'm always thinking about like what's this process of seeking balance, right? And so, and then also looking at the year ahead and thinking about what are some of the really big planetary transits that we're dealing with this year, and thinking about the implications that they might have on our schedules as well. For instance, like I advise people during eclipse seasons to really like take it as easy as possible, right? Like don't try to launch anything, don't try to plan anything really big, don't try to make any big decisions. Like life's going to do all that for you
Right.
during eclipse seasons. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, and then thinking about like we have a Venus retrograde coming up this year, and just like the other sorts of things that are going on this year, thinking about that. So there's sort of like three levels, right? Like the sort of like, here's the basic level, anyone can do this. You don't even have to like believe in astrology. Like it can really just bring balance into the week to think about each day having its own specific qualities. And then like it can get a little bit more personal and then a little bit more relational, right, with like what's going on in the world around us.
Awesome. Yay. I'm so excited. I have Taurus rising, so we're both Venus people, obviously.
Oh, so sweet.
So, and and you're right, because a lot of it's all based off of our natal chart. Some of us are much more like lunar, some of us are much more solar or diurnal. And how does that really fit into how we plan our week and like what days are going to be more supportive for us? So really excited for this. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just like, it's such a good point, and I think like we live in a culture that tells us that like the way we manage our time has to look a certain way. And this, I think, like can give a little bit of permission to like, if you're like a night owl, like be a night owl.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
no shame, like with just
Mhm.
the way we function is okay, and our charts can help us make sense of the way that we relate to time.
Yeah. And your day, you may feel like your Monday is a Friday, or it's like it can be up to you based off of how you live your life, how your chart functions in your life and the week that you live. And what was I gonna say?
That's all
So
right.
no, it's okay. I was gonna say, people can bring their planners to your talk, so they can start like looking at the days of the week. And of course, I don't know if you use an astrology planner or if you use like the honeycomb planner, or if you just use a regular
Yeah,
planner.
I got my honeycomb for the year. I'm
Yeah,
stoked.
yeah. So we have an astrologer in our group who makes her own planner, and they actually have the planets on each day of the week, so you can see what day is associated with the planets. But you don't need to have an astrology planner. You can use your regular planner. You can write in all of the stuff that you're going to be talking about. So I think I'm really supporting people and recommending that they bring something to write with, so they can start doing
Yes.
some stuff. So is that right? Okay.
Yeah, bring something to write with. And I may even like open with some journaling prompts, or just sort of like, think about this, think about each day of the week, think about the time of the day, and what sort of like feels like those juicy moments for you, or what sort of feels like moments that really lag, and why, and sort of, yeah, like how can we reconcile some of the energies? Yeah.
Awesome. And I keep forgetting. I was gonna say, I'm just really excited to have you do this presentation. Oh, I was gonna say that we have multiple levels of astrology knowledge in our group. So this is a great presentation for beginners who don't know anything about the days of the week and their planetary associations, and for people more intermediate who want to take the knowledge that they have about astrology and sort of put it to the next level of how to actually functionally use it in your daily life, which is really
Mhm.
exciting, I think. So I'm really
Yeah.
psyched that you're coming and doing this presentation. And if anyone is, new to the astrology group and they want to just check it out for the first time, this is a great intro to what the Albuquerque Astrology Group is about. Also, of course, your work and what you're about. So if you want to register for this event, we still have some spots left. I'm going to post the link to buy tickets below this video. So go ahead and click on that, and we will see you this Saturday. Did you want to say anything else about the presentation or about yourself?
Oh, just to your point, like, and you can kind of enter this at any level. I think like it's so cool because it sort of is two directional, right? Like we can learn about ourselves. There's like a level of intuition that's invited in this work, of like, oh yeah, like what, thinking about why do Fridays feel good to me, right? Or whatever, like what is it about that? And then, the more advanced we get, the more we can sort of learn too about our own placements in our chart and like, oh, I have this planet in this house and I tend to do these sorts of types of activities on Fridays or you know, whatever. And so there really is like so much that you can do with this material and play with it at any level. So
Yay!
I think it'll be fun. Yeah.
So excited for you to come. And if anyone has any questions, please just reach out to me. I'm at johanna@orbitalastrology.com, or you can post in the Resonant Essentials Facebook group or in the Albuquerque Astrology Facebook group, or any of those options to ask questions about the presentation. It is $15 for members of the Albuquerque Astrology group and $25 for non-members. So, you know, bring your friends if they're excited about astrology, bring your planners, bring your journals, bring stuff to write with, and we will see you on Saturday. So thank you so much, Lindsey. It was great to talk to you today.
You're welcome. Thanks, Johanna. Yeah.
Bye.
About it.